Club Crashout. Welcome to Club Crashout. What do we do here? I don't even know, bro, but I'm going to open the stream. Go ahead. Likes are free here. And yeah, I ain't got a schedule. I got about 30% yet. I got a microphone and I got all the time in the world to chill. So shout out to all you guys. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday for my folks joining on the other side of the world. I'm so excited to see you guys. And yeah, let's hang out. Maybe I can tell some jokes, sing a couple songs or whatever. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. And so I am here looking to party. And yeah, man, politicked out. I did it I'm not trying to, be too egotistical, but I did about 3 hours of politics stream today. 3 hours politics, etc. Taking questions from the audience. Chilling, big chilling, small chilling, all this stuff. And so, whoops, what did I do? I messed something up. Whoops. Where is it? It is frickin' dude. Food, travel, activities. It's the stuff thing, dude. No. Oh, no. There we go. Club Crashout. Commie, left wing, right wing, MAGA, etc., bro. Ba. Yeah. So I just went and did the thing, whoops. I don't know how to do this. Why didn't that come through? All messages. Are we working? Are we up? Can you guys see me? Can you guys feel me, hear me? You guys see me here tonight? I hope everybody's doing good. I'm chilling right now. And yeah. So Ducks Why We're Politics channel. So if you guys have any opinions or beliefs you want to argue about, debate, talk about, whatever. I have a degree in political science. No sound. Bruh. Let's try this one more time. What about now, guys? No sound now? So etc. And so it's, oh, whoops. So can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Guys hear me now? Hello? All right. Well, if you guys are saying you hear me, I'm going to go with that. Hey, shout out everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining so much. Hey, what up, 19-year-olds? 19 is a great age. I pretended like I liked girls. I pretended like I liked drinking. I pretended like all that stuff was all good, all cool back then. When I was 19, that stuff was a lot of fun for me, but none of it was really true. When I was a 19-year-old, secretly, I would, get a book. I'd flip through it or whatever. I'd be flipping, flip. I'd be flipping through it. Then I'd be done. I'd want to play video games. I'd want to go hang out with my friends. And so, yeah. I don't know that anything changes if you guys are Cubby Cushy Cubby Gum. Shout out for that, right? That deserves a sub or a like. Mohammed Saeed, shout out to you. Good to see everybody. What's going on, Gene? Hopefully you're well. Cam Perkins, we got Landon in the house. My little brother is so adorable. He's 2. Cool. Yeah. The nice thing about being 19 is also guilt-free everything. Guilt-free everything, right? Enjoy that. You guys are like, I'm not telling you guys I'm perfect now or whatever, no offense, but at 19, I got to eat what I want. I got to go out when I want. And yeah, all of that changes. At some point, all that stuff goes away. Is Tebow 316 still relevant? Hell no. See, that's one of those guilt-free things. You like a football player because it's the colors, or he's telling you how to pray to God. Nah, dude, that's not right. That's not right. A lot of people will say, well, Tim Tebow is beyond reproach because he went out and saved a bunch of trafficked kids. I don't know that I believe in that, really. Do I have a wife? I don't know. I don't really talk about personal life on the internet that much. Right now, I'm a full-time streamer. I've got a couple friends that do YouTube as well. So I love sitting in the audience, listening to other people, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. God hates me because you're gay? Hell no, that's not. I was just listening to someone tonight actually talking about talk therapy, gay conversion therapy, and stuff like this. So I went up and popped on stage, hero that I am, argued him a little bit. It's very strange. Someone's having an acute life episode. Acute in medical science means something severe, right? It means bad. It means you take the small cut and it's actually bigger. And so some people think that, you can do anything in those scenarios. And yeah, it's really tragic to see. And so, yeah, talking that you can invent a magical sky beast, however you want, to go talk to this person, convince them they're not gay. So there's absolutely no shame in being gay. It used to be the case you'd have to go search out allies. Hopefully that's a little bit easier or a non-issue these days. Bro, do you have a wife? I just mentioned I don't talk about my life on the internet. What is this live about, dude? Who knows? Whatever you guys want. Hey, Raylane Outdoors. Yeah, God bless you. You believe in Jesus. You believe in John 3:16. I believe in the like button. Yeah. And yeah, whatever's clever, whatever's good. Cool. Yeah. Shout out, however you guys want to talk about Jesus then. I think the big story that we learned in the gospel is you can write anything down. Someone might say, well, if you stretch that book out as far as you can, do you actually get value out of the whole thing? And some people would say, yeah, every single word you can hang on to, every word is holy and sacred. And then it's like, well, a lot of people didn't know that or weren't thinking about it prior to someone mentioning it. Is it sacred because of the way the vowels sound, because of the consonants, all this kind of stuff? Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm not trying to be a giga chat or, look that dope or anything like that, but I just happen to not shave. I do a little, there's my makeup, right? A little spritz in the hair. Did baby oil exist during Jesus's time? Actually, interesting. One of the few facts I do know about the ancient eras, sort of post-civilization, but pre-Western civilization, pre some of the most modern, like Indo-European civilizations and languages sort of pushing, moving in all these big different pieces, parts, right? Kind of like continental tectonic plates drifting over and underneath each other, right? There's no clear boundary. But in Egyptian society, it used to be incredibly valuable and important to go make ink and to stain it different colors. And so one of the reasons Egyptians would move outside of like Alexandria and the other major cities was to go find these little minerals and metals that they could dip in their ink. Hey, thanks, Christmas PG. I appreciate the compliment. Very kind. Thank you. Is this a Trump support group? Yeah, a lot of people come in here talking about Trump derangement syndrome. And so, yeah, just a quick mention that your beliefs don't really matter here. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, if people say that, well, you're deranged for believing something or being a certain person or something like this, it's like, well, certainly I have a lot of stuff that I could tell you that's like that. But, if I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about what I feel about education, schools, about peace on the world stage, right? I don't want a FIFA match to, move into corruption. I don't want people stealing other people's time, stealing people's lives, this type of stuff. I don't think that's actually delusional. Donald J. Trump never praised false gods. Yeah, DJT he claimed himself to be Jesus. That was one of the things he recently got a lot of criticism for. And I'm not saying that I've got a better answer than, maybe him just admitting some of the mistakes that he's made. In the US, we're not that artful. A lot of times the pragmatism that people talk about in the United States that made us famous is admitting when you make a mistake. Sometimes it's forcing the public to make you admit when you made a mistake. And some people can and can't do that. Sorry, I wish I had something more exciting or interesting to say to you, but that's about who I am and how I have it. Have you read the biography of Pontius Pilate? I don't know who would have written that book. From what I'm aware of, there's not. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably some historical reconstructions that can happen. Maybe there is a lot of information about the gent. But that's a common tactic, right? If you don't, a common tactic to create ahistorical narratives. If we're being honest, a lot of the historical evidence of Jesus in Christianity isn't from Jesus himself. It's not from the Gospels. These aren't really historical sources because there's nothing archaeological. There's nothing that is cross-sourced or referenced with the Bible, not that much. And you might say, well, Bart Ehrman and these Bible scholars beg to differ, and even they don't, right? Even they don't. They say, well, what you can actually tell about the holy stories in the Bible historically is not that much. And so the sort of common thing people will do, well, is like, well, if the person that we wanted to know about isn't written about, we can talk about the person alongside them. And shouldn't this substitute for the thing we wanted in the first place? And this is that stinking thinking, right? Because that's not history. You write about Pontius Pilate, or you get a biography, or you see, you can talk about, the Roman sort of court trackers who mention Jesus or Pontius Pilate 300 years after the guy lived. And you can say, okay, well, here's some historical document or evidence or something like this, and it seems to be on an island, or it seems to be in some other context. That doesn't actually tell you about what happened at that time. All that tells you is that somebody knew what other people were talking about at that time. Yeah, Trump is a cult leader. MAGA is sort of a cult leader. That may be true. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Brazil. And is that Puerto Rico? Yeah, I hope I know that flag. I don't know that I do, but shout out to you guys. If I think the other thing is you have Pete Hegseth, who controls nuclear weapons. He controls stealth bombers or something like that. You have a very scary guy in Pete Hegseth, who's now become a preacher, who spends half of his time speaking from the White House, speaking from the official office of the United States, talking about Jesus. And so I don't think that there's a separation of church and state. And when you say, well, these guys are cult leaders, to me, the only reason you would bring up faith and religion into this is because you want more of that in your political system. That's not putting the toys back in the box. And I think that the American political system and our processes should punish these guys, right? If these are impeachable offenses, impeach them, get rid of them, get them out the door. Get them out the door in the first place. Once upon a time, a German had the biggest barbecue in history. Wow, that's pretty racist. I think that's really racist. I don't think there's anything comedic about the Holocaust, because I think the stories are emotive, and emotive in a different way, right? It's about the level of suffering. And so to say that these are funny is actually losing what actually makes something like observational comedy funny. There's also cross-cultural comedy, right? That's maybe what you're searching for, where, if your identity is a black dude in the United States, or you're a Hindi, right? Or you're a rich Hindi, right? You can be a rich Hindi. Maybe you live in New Delhi or something like this, or could be anything. Yeah, you're a German guy. You like you don't like the BDSM club, but you do go. This kind of stuff, like these stereotypes, people can use them when they're talking about themselves in order to communicate an experience and make people laugh, right? But when we think about something that was geopolitical, it was cultural, it was based on a nation state, finding the comedy in this is probably just, there's not going to be a lot of mass appeal. And it's also just incredibly racist, right? It's spreading these anti-Semitic views. It's also validating perhaps people that you don't want to see talking more on your television. These people that are only going to produce more violence in society, people that don't care about nature, they care about themselves. They have this really delusional idea about what they can go do and accomplish and achieve. When I think of what I want to accomplish and achieve, it never involves me pressing all the buttons. I'm happy to be a butt monkey. I'm happy to go down and do all of the legwork. But I personally am not going to be the one that's like, who knows? I want leaders to talk about peaceful diplomacy, or in politics, I want an elected official to go reach more of their constituents, have a more open door policy. I can't force someone to do any of those things, and so I don't talk about it. I love Iran. Shout out to Iran. I've met one of my old managers was an Iranian guy living in Sweden. And so shout out to Iran, of course. Yeah, stop the war. Love from Kentucky. Hey, David Wayne, good to see you here, man. Shout out to you. Sorry, guys, I'm going through comments a little bit slow. But for people that know me from other venues or subscribe to the channel, shout out everyone. Appreciate you guys and all this other stuff. Yeah, in God we trust. Yeah, the almighty dollar. I got monetization on my channel now, so I do love me some money. Now, I think we're supposed to say that, but I'm here for the long haul. You guys, just a quick channel update. If you want to subscribe or like, and you like the content, you want to tune in for a couple minutes a few times a week, that's awesome. I try to, all of the streams are a little different format. But yeah, you guys helped the Ducks Y channel. We got 35,000 views in the last month. We picked up about 200 new subscribers. So we're not trying to rush through anything. I'm not trying to get like, 20 red super chats tonight or something like this. But yeah, that stuff is all super helpful. So, like, subscribe, check me in the shorts feed or just say what's up in chat. If you guys are just enjoying the night, welcome. Have a good night, everyone. Pete Hegseth quoting Pulp Fiction, thinking it's the Bible. Yep. Yeah. Thanks very much for your answer. I agree. And you have delved into Roman and with you and have delved into cool. Awesome. I'm not that strong at history. I like philosophy stuff a lot. And so shout out to you guys, all the historian people in chat. Thank you guys for being here. Can I touch the beard of power? Yeah. Here you guys go. Wait, one second. Let me loosen up for this a little bit. Sorry guys. Sorry, everyone. There you go. And I'll just tell you, not this side, right? I want you on my my atheist neckbeard, my internet neckbeard side right here. Have you guys ever saved Princess Peach? Do you guys go save Princess Peach on the weekends? Hell yeah. No, I'm not making fun of video gamers at all. I loved video games. I used to love playing Super Mario, used to love playing Mario Strikers, Halo. Good times, nostalgic times. I was really competitive at a lot of those games back in the day. I'm not trying to do all that stuff anymore necessarily, but I still tune into some of the gaming channels. I got gaming subs on my list and stuff like that. Emotive means to emote. Hell yeah, brother. Hey, WPS, good to see you again, brother. Pete knew what he was doing. Him seeming crazy could actually save lives. I don't agree. They said they accomplished, Pete, and by they, I don't mean some conspiratorial they. I mean the White House and the Trump administration and the DOD said they accomplished their military objectives after the first strike on what is known as Natanz, which is a nuclear enrichment facility. And for the last 10 years, Natanz was a nuclear facility with full access by the IAEA. And so, you're going to hear the politicians who wanted to bomb the place say blah, 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 yap, 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 right? Big yaps, small yaps. Welcome to Geopolitics. No sense getting conspiratorial about this stuff. I just get to say, look, I believed you 20% and now I don't believe you at all. So that's what you got back. Grapes. I used to love drinking wine. I don't drink a ton of wine. I don't drink a ton anymore. Agnostic means without experience. Agnostic is, I believe it's a Greek etymology. This is from the Dougal 737. And so if I have an agnostic philosophy, it could be something like mathematics. Someone might have an agnostic knowledge of math, meaning that you can read it in a textbook, but you haven't actually, you wouldn't say in the same sense that I open my car door so the handle opens. You may not say that, well, this is how math works. I can just say, I know 2 + 2 = 4. And that or if P, then not P, right? This is the classic sort of, symbolic logic, and there's propositional logic. So, and you can debate how these things actually work and what you actually do when you know the sort of topic. But anyways, and so gnosis is the opposite. If I know that my car door opens by a handle, not because I saw it in an instruction manual or I heard it in my head in a dream, but I actually was looking, like a monkey, like ding, 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 tapping around the door, trying to find it. And then I open the car door handle, right? That's an example of gnosis. It means with experience. And so some people say I'm a Gnostic Christian. They have experienced the mystic or Holy Spirit version of God. I'm personally a Gnostic atheist or, Gnostic, agnostic, Buddhist is my sort of preferred thing. And so I can say that, well, either with or without experience, I believe that we exist in nature. And I can go provide evidence. I can provide you some proof, make the argument in full in some other time. Hey, thanks, Nine Force. Yeah, I'm a millennial. And so millennials, we made friends by doing a lot of mutual touching. The Gen X folks thought we were all homosexual. And it turned out we all voted that way, right? We wanted, in the US, we wanted to get rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We wanted to provide legal and constitutional protections for gay rights and stuff like that. Hey, what's up, Bobby Meisner? Yeah, thanks. If you guys want to do some topic suggestions for slower topics, I'm happy to try and talk about some of that stuff too. World War II stuff is played the F out, bro. Yeah, it's exhausting. It is exhausting. Everyone loves Candace Owens. Yeah, Candace Owens, I think she went off the deep end, and obviously respect to her. I had a friend who died in Aurora, Colorado, so I understand trauma. She's very close to Charlie Kirk. And so I understand it, but I still don't think that if you have an audience of 1 million people, she's going to get, 50 million impressions talking about bullet casings and conspiracy theories. And so I don't have respect for that. And at the point where you aren't the person who lost a friend, but you're a content creator, there isn't an excuse. There's not some this isn't anti-feminist. It's just, you're talking nonsense. You're talking tinfoil, UFO, UAP, alien stuff with zero evidence for it. So, hey, what's going on, Khalid or Khalid? Ask a question. There's no slowdown. I'm on Timu Chris Pratt or whatever. Timo barback bartender speed. Bro, I'm flipping the flamin' shoe. What's agnosticism? I just answered agnosticism. Shout out. I'm gonna skip down a little bit. Good to be here, bub. Cool, David. Hopefully we see you again. I'm gonna skip down a little bit on some of these comments, not trying to go too fast, but let's see. War is lame. I like that. I like that a lot. Hatler's mustache man. This guy not good. This guy not good. If you thicken it out and it looks like Mussolini, still not good. You thicken it out, it looks like Stalin, still not good, right? You usually don't want someone who's willing to be unbudging and competitive with you. If they're supposed to be a servant leader, if they're supposed to have a civic mindset, these aren't good. And so this is part of the problem with Donald Trump, when he just says right away, I'm not going to sympathize with Russia. I'm not going to be like a Russian stooge like the internet would say. But does Donald Trump criticize Putin for lacking a civic mindset? Does he criticize leaders in Russia for not having a civic mindset? And when we think, well, they're going to war, so it's bad anyways. Yeah, that's also true. Right? We don't want to see people in a free country anywhere, being bombed. But yeah, what about in China? Do you have a civic mindset? This isn't an unhealthy way to approach politics, saying, well, this is something we can talk about without aggression. And this is also something we can talk about mutually without our self-interest. And it's an important topic, right? The West appreciates it. Everyone in the West appreciates this. So, war is lame, civil society is good, having a civic mindset, having a leadership mentality is good. America's repeating history, expecting different results. It is insanity, bro. Yeah, America's repeating history. Absolutely. To me, this is a really foundational issue. I picture you see these AI pictures of monkeys meditating in space. And it's like, cool, maybe we are, Trump is transcending the United States. Maybe he does have something mystic or holy, and this is how it worked. But at the same time, at the bottom of this, I don't know if there's poop above him or if there's poop below him. There's poop to the sides. He's got a dirty diaper on. And so, okay, let's take Donald Trump. If America is repeating the same mistakes as basically a dumpster is saying, it may just be the case that the holy chimp that we're all worshiping, Donald Trump's inner monkey who looks something like this, I'll show you that one more time. But that guy might be the worst thing that's ever happened to the country, and we just don't know it yet. A lot of people do know it, right? You're spending taxpayer money on BS. Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for stopping by the stream. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great night. And enjoy the show. Don't love money, just use it. Yep, absolutely. Hate money. Excellent. Congratulations on the channel. Thanks again. War is lame. Warmongering is cringe. Horrible stuff. Hey, shout out. We got 1,000 radio in chat, and Sorjak, our two top chatters so far of the night. Shout out to you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Don't blame America. Blame the wealthy. Our worst people are foreign billionaires. Jeff Epstein was a billionaire who colluded with foreign agents of state too. And so I don't blame someone if you just happen to become successful and you're a banker or something like that. Okay, well, that's something to talk about. And I definitely have my issues with big industries that move slow, don't consider people. They beat down or expect money out of the working class, and they don't see it as a problem. So all four of the big ones. There's tech companies and there's energy companies. We always seem to escape this fact that energy companies exist somewhere in a society. They expect you to fill up at the pump. They expect you to pay for last generation's technology. They expect you to rent old technology, and they never tell you that there is possibly a better way to do this. I don't buy the conspiracies that we can turn oxygen and water, there's hydrogen engines that are infinitely, sustainable. Maybe it is true, but if that's not true right now, then I want to hold people civilly and morally accountable for those types of discussions and those types of conversations. Sorry, I'm burping. I'm so gross right now. And I'm sorry. I want to be part of the solution, though. Yeah, vote for Duck, the gross guy, right? Not running for office, but yeah, if you guys would listen to me, that's what I want it to be like. Like, hello up there, listen to me. I know people that care about you. I'm 5'9", 5'10". I'm 6'7", 6'7", bam. 6'7". Do you know how tall I am? 6'7", bam. I don't move, baby. No, I'm just kidding. It's not cool. Not an alpha male, sigma. I'm a beta male, 6'7". Let's go. Get OnlyFans. Hell yeah. Yeah. OnlyFans, Fansly. I don't think there's any shame in adult work. I'd like it to be more normalized. I'd also like there to be more norms around it, right? When people say, well, more norms, that's controlling other people's bodies. And no, it's a dangerous conversation because I think people want to weigh in and say, well, look, if I like poly stuff or bi stuff, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to turn anyone off. I like poly stuff, fetish stuff, whatever. I like really plain Jane, sort of that kind of stuff on Fansly. I like seeing it on my feed, or no, I blocked it on my algorithm so I can't see it. Cool, that's all fine, right? These are all people that you could potentially make content for if people are doing adult creators. I'm a poli-sci major, political science, not poly. But yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I also don't think that it's something that comes up every day for 99.9% of society. And I think that's also fine, right? But if that's how you see the worldview, there's other ideas that are a little more encompassing. And I think most, even P-stars would admit this, people doing adult content. Yeah, like if you have a queer ideology or you're part of the feminist movement, these are really robust academic theories. But so is sex and gender theory, right? So is sex and gender theory. But if you ask me, I don't think you get much better than critical feminism, queer theories, the aesthetic of it. The aesthetic of it's a little more comprehensive than just like high fashion in society, if you were to ask me. And so Donald Trump, maybe him, Melania, and Barron Trump should read some of this stuff. Maybe they can walk through a Fansly page. Maybe they can walk through a couple together and see if they can't fix the country up. So again, I'm not telling people to go be a sleuth, right? I'm telling people that you shouldn't have shame if you were at one point curious. And yeah, in the big scheme of things, maybe I spend 10,000 years doing science, technology, STEM stuff, 10,000 years doing politics, 10,000 years doing stand-up comedy. Yeah, I could spend 1,000 years on this other stuff, and it's not that big of a deal to me. You got a question? There's your answer. Trump's a liar and a worm. Okay, brother, am I CIA? Andy, I pretend to be a CIA agent on Quora sometimes. Yeah. When I go on Reddit, when I go on Quora, absolutely, I'm a fake CIA agent. Look at my eyes. Do you see them? Did you guys see them working? Did you guys see them working? No, they weren't really working there, right? There you go. You're rich and you don't know them? No, I'm not Dan Blazarian. Shout out, though. Shout out. That's Eighth Wonder. What up? Agnostic is unknowing. Agnostic, bro. I got to catch up. I'm so sorry. I got to catch up. I see a bunch of people coming in chat. Some of the same names. I don't know how far up I am, but I don't want to get too far lost. I'm pretty far up, so there we go. I'm sorry, everyone. Hey, what's going on, Voltaire? Yeah, syllable maxing. Blah, da, 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 da. Blick. Yeah, blick. You guys see the light switch? I don't have a light switch. Blick. There you guys go. There you guys go. Do you see how that works? Mysticism. There it is. It's mysticism. I do believe. Darth Citrus, sucka shut it up. Hardly a listless nutter butter butt. There you go. I'll put my butt in a butt. Yeah, I'm not one of the rappers. There's a couple good rappers on YouTube Shorts. If you guys like music, when you guys tune out of the Ducks Y channel, when you guys go on to your next channel visit, yeah, if you guys see one of those rappers, yeah, tell them the Ducks Y channel sends a shout out, or you don't have to. But yeah, where I am, it's early still. It's sort of early. It's early in internet time. It's 11:24. It's kind of late for me. I'm an old guy. I'm 36 years old. I'm not that cool, right? I ain't your buddy, pal. I'm 36, man. You know, I wear my blue jeans with pleats, you know. I wear my Michael Jordan shoes laced all the way up. Yeah, fried fries, French fries. Bad guys like to try. I tried about 1,000 times to eat zucchini fries, but I'm a vegan. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I tried to give him to my girlfriend, Megan. No, I don't know. Dart dude, Andrew Huberman. Is that who you remind me of? Hey, what's up, Jean-Pierre? What up? Shout out. Yeah, Andrew Huberman. You know, he was a doctor, got in a bunch of trouble for being in either open or sort of these morally promiscuous relationships where apparently both sides, well, it was consensual, both sides didn't have all the information about what the relationship was like. And he is a doctor who has done a lot in terms of, I believe, like metabolism and aging or what, I don't know, human performance, this type of stuff. So very popular with Joe Rogan, you know, the psychedelic stuff, you know, this kind of stuff. So who knows, haven't kept up on them. You know, if it was the case, someone lied to get into what they see as a mutually beneficial sexual relationship, I just don't think you can make that judgment. And to me, it's that simple. Yeah, it's that simple. If you lied to someone to engage in sort of a intimacy sort of scenario, that's not good. But yeah, if I look like that guy, you know, if I can duplicate that type of success on YouTube, I'm down, dude. No offense. Ruby Tiara Taste Maker. This guy looks like a Robbie from the pit fully gave up. Hell yeah, brother. That's funny. I don't know who that is. But if I can do anything to get more degen, let me know, please. Yeah. Let me know what I can do to get all the way there. Holy Moses. Wow. Okay. Wasn't he the inspiration of Wonder? Blah, 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 blah. I love cheese and eggs too much to be vegan. Hey, that's awesome. I use a very expensive, not that often, but I buy this fake egg product. It's like $6 for, you know, it's about the equivalent of a dozen eggs. So it is more expensive than like grocery store eggs, but it's really good. I usually get that once every 2 weeks or so. But there was a time when I was doing it a lot less too. But yeah, some of us vegans went through crazy spells where we ate super clean. You know, I used to eat a bunch of lentils, split peas, beans, potatoes, and basically that's it, right? You know, I wouldn't have a tons of fruits or veggies throughout the week, and I would just eat clean and, you know, try to get some sleep and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's how I used to do it. And yeah, you know, I go through a day or a month, and then if I needed to get some like veggies to kind of get me through the day or something, that's how I would do it. So there you go. Where farm? Can you retype that? Grow your own greens to survive the toxic environment. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, don't stay out in the sun for more than 30 minutes, little soybean. Yeah, you got to get back inside. No, not all of you, just some of you, soybean. Hey, butterbean, why didn't you get out of the sun there? Hey, butterbean, you better get under the tree before they come for you. You know, looks like a man who knows the sea. Bro's too kind to me, dude. Yeah. I used to watch Brian Greene. Brian Greene has that commanding voice. You know, yeah. So when you look up at the night stars, what if you actually were only seeing a mathematical equation, not even the calculus that Isaac Newton used, but an algebra? And not even an algebra that is familiar to you or me when we graduate high school, but a form of algebra that sits outside of a graph, outside of a sheet of paper that you normally want to put it on. And really at the core of it, it is just that. It is just an equation. Yeah, that's modern cosmology in a nutshell, one of the ways to look at it. So, oh, dude, you just blew my mind. Don't be alarmed, right? I got to go get my vape. Speaking of 3D orthogonal space, folks, I'll be right back. All right. Thud. Fee, fi, clo, plum. You guys, like I said, when the club's open, the like button is free. Shout out to everyone that's here. I appreciate seeing you. Trump 2028, bros dropping in the bottom of the chat. Don't go vegan. Not enough B12. I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I would say don't think about rushing it, because part of it is our cravings and desires, but it is partially our metabolism is built around food and diet and stuff like that. So I ain't trying to, you know, I ain't trying to like too alpha dog it or anything like that. But I would say there's something for sure to be said about, if you go vegan, take your time. If you go vegan, then you can afford to eat the foods you want. But also, if you, like, most modern vegans that I know of are ethical vegans, right? So they do it for their values, and that's what kind of motivates them to go forward. I ain't ever heard of somebody, people, I think the argument on the internet is that people get sick. And so I can't tell you if you feel sick or get sick. That's cool. But if you just want to get sick with it or something, I think that was closer to where I was, just full honesty. Yeah. I wanted to get sick with it a little bit. What's your biggest achievement in life? I don't know. I used to be able to do chest presses with 120-pound dumbbells in each hand. So 240 pounds total. Back when I was like in college. Yeah, I can run a 4.640 up a hill. 4.640 up a hill, dog. Yeah. Nope. Not like that, buddy. Ain't anything like that, buddy. Buddy guy, pal. I don't know, maybe. Who knows? I'll get back in shape pretty soon. Those hip separation. I don't know, dude. No, my biggest achievement, I think my biggest achievement was probably rereading some of my college textbooks and understanding them better. And this is like cheating accomplishment is I reread Jean-Jacques Rousseau. I went through and read Lacan. I read a little bit of Hegel, reread, I want to go back and do some maybe Adam Smith and Ricardo again. Raul Prebisch came up today. Raul Prebisch was a Latin American economist, very influential. He's accused of being like a commie socialist, but I just want to go see what his idea actually said. Those ideas usually are a little different. Hell yeah, cheeseburgers. I went to this place in Davis, California, because my friend moved out there for school. My friend and his wife. And so we went to this cheeseburger and beer place. I still remember that shiz today, brother. Only eat the ugly animals. There are none. Hey, Jorlin. No, I'm not a veteran. My grandparents served. I try to support the troops with this one, not this one, right? I think if I got that one right. So shout out. I really disbelieve in Donald Trump trying to peddle psychedelics because Dr. Oz and RFK said it's okay. Expediting this RFK, this FDA approval and stuff. Donald Trump's not a scientist. He's already communicated bad information about all this other stuff. And it's important, right? These are people's lives, their brains. Here's a good thing to remember. Our brains are very plastic. A person is very resilient. Our brains are adaptable and plastic, but a brain is also very fragile. Brains are one of the most fragile organs in the body. That's why there's so much machinery. Brains have their own form of metabolism, right? So we normally have our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Brains have their own metabolic processes to regulate themselves. And so saying that Donald Trump can go train people in the Department of War, whatever it is, right? It's the War Department, go ask John Kiriakou what he thinks of the War Department. He was a freaking civilian his entire life, I think. Go ask him what he thinks of the War Department or something. He's a good, unbiased, civilian opinion or something like this. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. We're yammering about veganism, agnosticism, Gnosticism, yammering about gaining muscle, accomplishments, achievements. We're just yammering to yammer, bro. Oh, man, you guys outpaced me one more time. Yeah, thanks. I'm going to skip down again. No diggity. No doubt, baby. Yeah, any rich retirees want to send any super chats or super stickers or buy some memberships, that's cool. But we live in life right now. Are you transgender? No, I consider myself an ally. However, yeah, I identify as having an XY phenotype. I believe it's true. Never been tested, but I believe it's true. You take calls? Not right now. I do have a Restream account, but I have a free Restream account. So I want to, if the channel gets monetized in whatever, who knows, few weeks, few months, few years, we will update it. Voltaire, can we get a good life? Goth life. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, shout out all my goths in chat. Shout out goths. Shout out goth mommies real quick, just a little bit. Shout out, obviously. Shout out goth daddies. And shout out goths who did it for the culture, did it for the punk, did it for the anarchy, and didn't do it because it became trendy to have flair while being anti-cultural and far right. Just like Adolf Hitler put he put Hugo Boss on the boys. The Nazi party put Hugo Boss on the boys. You can make Donald Trump and these far right politicians in Europe gothic. No, that tell me what sculinity is. That's what I want to know, folks. If I ain't handsome enough, I look just crazy enough to criticize you. If that's okay, brother, is it okay? But yeah, what's sculinity? I watch Andrew Tate for sculinity tips all the time. I watch Andrew Tate because he teaches me how to eat meat and be a lion. But I want him to tell me, honestly, at the core of it, what's sculinity? I don't want any of the Jack advice. I want to know sculinity. There you go, buddy. Elder Goth here, Detroit, Leland, Club City, 1999. Is that right? Did I get any of it right? Shout out to your elders, boys. Soybot thinks Trumpenstein is far right. What is Trumpenstein? What is Trumpenstein if you don't think tripling federal law enforcement agents, tripling defense spend without asking the people? If this isn't far right, tripling the number of times you skip the courts. If this isn't aligned with the far right aesthetic, and if it's measurable in the world and produces a measurable sort of production towards far right isms, that's far right. And it's funny because his little boys like Tim Pool, his little boys like Charlie Kirk even had this name alt-right. They even got to do this little fun, cool thing, right? Your little far right, Nazi field trip, right? Donald Trump says we're rebranding. Well, go back to your Nazi field trip. Go back to when you asked for the billionaire class to put Facebook ads out and start the Tea Party. These people said that as long as you're giving me gold for my investment retirement accounts, you can sell to me with Facebook ads. Old stories, dude. And so I'm not trying to be cruel, mean, wicked, exclusive, or nasty, or pretentious. But what actually happened? Where did that information start and how did it get produced? Suddenly you guys can't accept that. So now it's Pizzagate, right? Now there's the next topic that we're really good at solving. I haven't seen it yet, folks. Let me go ahead and put my left foot down. My right foot was down, but now let me put my left foot down. If you think there's going to be this endless sort of volleyball game of, things that Donald Trump's MAGA produces that just aren't actually hurting people, killing people, that aren't subject to democratic norms and criticism, that's not correct, right? That's never been correct. So let's put it down. Let's put it down for the peaceful people. Let's also be hypercritical while we're talking here, hypercritical of progressives that want to move fast, people like me. Let's be hypercritical of democratic socialists that want to tell you how to live your life right away. But the cost of this is also saying, well, as we start building that space out and being honest about what MAGA is, where it came from, what it means to actually make America great again versus what Donald Trump says you can say or take it to mean. Well, it's not mean to have the conversation. I would presume it's actually quite honest. And yeah, if you don't agree with it, then you probably haven't even started to ask it. Too bad. Who's your guy? I'm not a Trump supporter. Yeah, I don't know. I like eating burritos and having fun, bro. Hi, is this a sub? Hey, what's going on, Samsonite? I don't know your channel or something, so I'm not subbed. Wow, you're live again and just yapping like always. Hey, what's up, Adams? Yeah, you missed the best part of the stream. Welcome to the show, folks. Cool. Republicans aren't far right. Republicans, no, Republicans do have conservative values. They might say something like, well, I don't need, here's an example of a conservative value, is that I don't need professors both assigning the textbook and demanding we teach kids how to read them. And guess what? Contrary to Donald Trump's MAGA narrative, 99% of sociology teachers, social theorists, definitely political scientists would agree, right? You don't get to assign a textbook and assign an ideology while you're doing it. You can, right? The thing that is objective is how you read the data. The thing that is objective is how an author defined a term and what the argument means, right? And so in college, you hope people just understand that so you can go beyond and do more. You can go beyond and reject the argument or accept it. You can go beyond and make a counter argument. You can go beyond and just repeat the argument and get through that class because you've got a lot more, right? Or you can drop the class if you don't like it, research the actual reading material beforehand. But Donald Trump said that we've got leftist professors in the United States and that education's not a good thing. That's just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how, well, if you don't want people spending money because you don't think they're going to be able to afford school or the economy is going downhill and we shouldn't loan the money out, well, go out and say that though, right? Don't make up lies about professors. If that's your position as a conservative, that's certainly not an American viewpoint. The data is pretty overwhelming and clear that people who graduate college do far better in the economy on average. Maybe you don't want to be a statistic. Cool. Don't go to college then. That's your choice. There's a lot of people who don't mind that being that statistic. So just doesn't make sense. We could have a more thorough conversation there. Yeah. Hey, good luck to you, Marvin Stone, finding a husband. Yeah, neoconservatism. Neoconservatism assumes that, Donald Trump's form. Typically, neoconservatism is like, if you can picture something that is like knee high or something like this, that there are American values that produce better outcomes. So you may want the best American investment banks out on the world stage. You may want, for Donald Trump, it's people a little bit, but you want the best American industry sort of paving the way forward. For Donald Trump, he puts people there, and he also thinks that American blabbering, American yapping is the thing that covers up the mistakes that our country, my country, and other countries make. It's ridiculous. Might want to brush that beard. Yeah, the beard's not that great. I got all kinds of stuff messy in my face and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, not the least or the most of my problems right now. Does this guy think people don't see him sniffing? And hey, what's going on, No Diggity? Welcome to the channel. Appreciate the kind message. Thank you for it. You should sell a blah blah named neocons. Hey, that's pretty funny. Yeah. You guys want to sell these types of products? Cool. Good for you. Good for you. Cool. Hey, what's going on? All right. If you guys have topic suggestions, let me know. Thank you. Republicans and Democrats are a uni-party controlled by AIPAC. Keep falling for controlled opposition, you goy cattle. That's a pretty funny name, goy cattle. But yeah, that's also not true. I don't know if that's anti-Semitic or just anti. We've always had special interests in Washington. And special interests play an important function, I think. You can disseminate higher level strategic conversations. And yeah, if you think it's a problem, I would put that down to accountability and transparency. And I think that's also practical. I think it's also pragmatic to think that there's no way to facilitate the conversation and lead that to strategic outcomes, to me, is defeatist. But yeah, it's social media talking points, right? So somehow it's social media talking points, and that's as far as that goes, I guess, for right now, right? Who knows? Whatever. What's your take on AI data centers? Yeah, incredibly expensive. I believe that we should be very cautious about the pace of AI. The price of AI is going to go up. The availability or the convenience is going to go down over time. I think this is in terms of not AI performance, but AI cost and convenience, this is as good as it gets, right? AI, because of the capabilities of automation and the amount of structured and unstructured data, which can be converted to vector databases and help with better deep learning models, help with better inference, these AI buzzwords that are actually part of the technology. I do think that ultimately, people will spend more on data warehouses or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, AI basically is, for many reasons, AI is as good as it's going to get for consumers, but AI will continue to get more powerful. It's also exploitative. When we think that AI is driving geopolitical competition, it is more important to some business leaders than energy, than like neo-Hobbesian approaches to nation building and development, than structural appeal to international systems. And because of this, it's also taking on a majority of the US national interest. It is boiling up from the level of economy and culture and preventing us from talking about what energy cartels and what the military industrial complex is actually doing. This is something that a president like Donald Trump should actually take on, but he's too spineless. He's feckless. He perhaps holds an opinion that this is somehow the issue itself is avoidable, or there is nothing unavoidable in the implication or consequence of this. There's nothing consequential in this. And that may just not be true. I don't think it is. So yeah, B. Baker, someone asked me about AI. So I'm answering the question about AI. If you have a different question, if you guys want to switch topics or something like that, feel free to do that. Yeah, but if someone asks about AI and you're not interested in that, that's cool too. Sorry. Your beard is spiky at the bottom. Yeah, this is the Reddit atheist, internet atheist, dweeb side of the beard. Yeah, and so I don't think I'm being pretentious, condescending. I don't think I'm showing hubris saying that the shift in AI is not managed and handled in our economy right now. It's very clear when you see how people talk. It's very clear when you see how horizontal and vertical integration in businesses is actually managed today. And it's not clear. It's absolutely not clear when you can hear venture capitalists, when you can hear venture funds, when you can hear tech hubs saying the right thing, when you can hear deep tech builders saying the right thing, but they are millions of miles away from the actual source of AI production and energy production. There's nothing in the foundational economy that appears represented in AI tech. And so, yeah, you can say that, we have to get there before people will produce the change. That's never happened. And so you assume it doesn't get more expensive. And how does that happen then? Who actually pays for it? I'll tell you who pays for it. It's the poor. It's people in other countries. It's people that didn't vote for Donald Trump that pay for it. So Donald Trump wants to say, well, it's only unavoidable because someone's already doing it. Well, no, Don, you do it, a-hole. You do it. This wasn't part of your campaign promises, but you wanted us to spend $100 billion on ICE officers to kick people out of the country. No, that's not true. I just got out of jail and started using AI. It's scary. It produces all kinds of unique changes when you do a query, right? A query, you ask the AI a question to produce an inference. You can learn a lot from the AI, but it also can force you to do some weird things. Oh my God, we got our first membership. Oh my gosh. Heck yeah, dude. Thank you so much, Robin. Robin Webster sends a gift membership and gets it herself. Thank you so much, Robin. Shout out to you. So we've got our first green Ducks Y tag. And yeah, I just want to share that. I'm pretty excited. Thanks so much. It was awesome seeing Robin Webster. It's awesome watching her channel grow as well. Great place for anyone who likes secular talk, anyone who likes learning history, spirituality, atheism, theology, these types of discussions, morality, culture, all types of stuff happening over at Robin Webster's channel. And so it means a lot for her to send that support. Thank you so much. Yeah, Robin. Thanks. I've got really ugly, sort of grimy emojis and stuff in there. So I'm sorry about that, but I appreciate the support. And yeah, thank you so much. Did you know that the inadvertent definition of a zeitgeist is an explanation that can't remember what the point was? That's really interesting. That's really interesting. I remember exploring the zeitgeist being told, and I'm not trying to talk over you, Gibraltar, but exploring the zeitgeist is like the peak of what a collective consciousness was like, or something that was somewhere, if the collective consciousness has a top and a bottom and a middle, the zeitgeist is somewhere in the middle. So when, this weird thing where if Donald Trump says, we have Howard Lutnick and RFK passing medical things, the reason Donald Trump can say this at the top is because the zeitgeist is down here. People are worried about, their own housing, their own food. People are worried about cosmopolitanism, connecting with global identity. So they don't see health as important. And so Donald Trump can get away with it. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But yeah. Hey, what's going on, Pagan Prince? Been a while. Long time no see. Why is AI so much less efficient in the US compared to China? I don't know. You might have a better answer to that than I do. I think a lot of it was speed to market in the US. There was less. There was maybe, I don't know how the best models and stuff in China work, but there was maybe more of a focus on enterprise owned data and privacy, and basically allowing AI to build deep tech based on large corporate needs. That would be just like kind of my first guess that I would say. And really that's about the best AI technology. It's not actually giving credit to a lot of people building cool stuff. It's not giving credit to how innovation and effective smaller use cases of AI work. But it's also very honest, because some people might say, well, all the stuff you celebrate now isn't going to be around in 20 years. And so it's not relevant in a geopolitical context, Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of time. Yeah. Peretti and good shouldn't be normal occurrences. Yeah, probably not, right? Probably not. Probably not. By my judgment. I'm for normal functioning ICE, but not over profiling of the Latinos. Yeah, shout out Latinos, Chicanos. Yeah, normal functioning ICE usually means that you have warrants that are traceable back to where the evidence came from. Warrants of what they did wrong within society and the court, right? So there's physical evidence against the person, and a judge signing off on it. So the fact that, these people are going through and doing these mass raids, and they say that they're using Palantir's AI systems or whatever they're saying, Alex Preddy and Renee Good are just one part of this, right? Sadly, from ICE's lens and Donald Trump's lens, they're a consequence of Donald Trump wanting to spend $100 billion. You don't make an omelet without breaking a couple eggs, but that's not how the United States works. If you come from a perspective of constitutional law, of justice, of things, the values that voters have, you can't both fulfill your campaign promises and serve the common interest, serving the common good related to a limited government, when you have an Alex Preddy and Renee Good, and when you have all this other BS. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We got our first 2 members tonight, folks. I'm pretty excited about that. Thanks, Hizzle. Appreciate the membership. And yeah. Cool. You guys enjoy the name tags. If you guys want to scheme and pick our next the next emoji we're going to add, who knows? Maybe we can do something related to atheism, or just because of something like atheism or something related, something godless or something like that. If you guys want to decide something, hit me up in Discord, or I'll bug you guys. I'll go bug you guys if you guys. That'd be my honor to do some design work for you guys, because I appreciate the support. I'm getting emotional. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Yeah, I'm getting emotional, dude. All right, I got caught up. Shout out everyone in chat. I got a little excited because of gift memberships. I'm still very new to YouTube. In the big scheme of things, we're a small channel, so but yeah, just shout out to some of you guys. Are you pro? Diamond asked, "Are you pro Greater Israel and the Third Temple, which ushers into the Antichrist?" Yeah, so you may be surprised. I don't want to bring anti-Semitism or mythology around Israel into this. I don't want to mythologize real politics, but I'm actually not against people inventing icons, having sort of pagan senses of things either, right? Having these senses about things, if they help people gain an understanding and if they lead to an actual practical lesson or something academic, something true in the world, And so for Israel, yeah, Israel does have exceptional qualities and traits to it that don't have anything to do with Israel's security, don't have anything to do with Judaism, just have to do with the actual things the people in the country did. And so if the third temple of Israel is the fact that you can have a public market that helps provide smoother economic success for the Middle East, that also exists, right? But that doesn't involve nationalization of courts or anything like that. And to me, that's kind of like Antichrist. People would say this is like an Antichrist, but it's not, So whatever. Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm a jackbutt. I don't know, maybe. Hey, what's up, Coco Rosalie? Good to see you here too. I saw you getting. I saw. That was fun. I got to see. I don't think I've met you really that well. Maybe. Sorry if I'm off. Cheers to Samoa as well. And yeah. I saw you in Mega Bloodbath and then over at Tacos. So shout out to you. Do you still eat carbs? I had a bunch of carbs today. I got to get back on the diet train. Who knows? Maybe my body's secretly gaining weight so I can do like a 15 or 17, whatever it is, 18% body fat cut down to 9%. Yeah, I'll start a Ducky's Lifestyle channel or something, Dale. Ducky's Lifestyle. I'll show you guys how beans go in a pressure cooker or something like this too, if you guys want. Yeah. I like spamming. Hey, Holy Mackerel, good to see you. You don't need food, you only need Jesus. Yeah, there actually is a dietary system called breatharians. And they do, so what they do is they put this, it's a conspiracy belief basically that your body's metabolism can run on oxygen. And so, I mean, it's an easy sort of heuristic or bias someone can have because our bodies actually can fast and run on fat stores for a long time. But that doesn't mean that it's healthy. That doesn't mean that it's safe for people. Mackerel, I just gave you a 10-second timeout to clear some of the spam off because we do have people that talk and I appreciate the messages. That's always cool. Yeah, I've got too heavy of a brow, and so I apologize for that. Yeah, I ain't that strong though, Mr. Stufalo, Mr. Stufaho. I feel my best with protein and organic foods. I feel bloated, and yeah, and so just for general dieting, that can be true. I have all kinds of irrational dietary experiences that don't make sense. Even some of the ones that I may normally pitch to people about veganism, if we were to discuss or debate the topic, a lot of those don't make sense. If you're saying this is how I feel my best, I don't know. Yeah. 6'7". I like Whole Foods. I feel better when I can buy Whole Foods or cheap bulk foods, stuff like that. Yeah. Well, God bless you, sir. God bless you, sir. God bless you, everyone. Blammo. All right. God bless us, everyone. Let's do Club Ducky tonight. People can get their atheist fix and fills on other channels. If you guys want to talk religion tonight, I think it's a good night to hang out a little bit. We got a little of the downs and outs, and I certainly had downs and outs later today. So I respect it. Not that you need me to respect it, but I respect it in the sense that I've been there and am there sometimes. So shout out everybody in chat. Hopefully you're having a good night. Yeah. Hope you don't take it the wrong way, but your beard is trimmed uneven. Yep. I'm okay with it. If I can get the Jaden, if I can get the spine a little bit straight, in a nice strong position wherever it is, I'm less concerned about the beard position as much as I'm concerned being able to have a strong position in my chair where I can sit comfortably, because I've been streaming like 5-6 hours a day. It's not that much, but it's enough for me, right? So you should trim your beard. Yeah, I will. I'll go get a haircut. I'll go get a haircut sometime next week. I've got some type of job interview. Whoa, I just got desynced like crazy. But I'll go get a haircut or something like this sometime next week. Here in my car, I feel safest of all. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Yeah, the like button is free tonight, folks. So if anybody wants to like the stream, we appreciate you. If you're not enjoying the content, appreciate you for just being here, and hopefully you're having a good night. My name is Dux. Welcome to Dux Y. We do politics and stuff like that, and I zip around and try to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Are you a good ducky or an evil ducky? I can be either a good or an evil ducky, I think. I think I tend to do better being a good ducky, though, just to be honest. Hey, what's going on, Skyrip? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, brother. People aren't supposed to get caught using ChatGPT on stream. And yet, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. Everybody. What's going on, folks? We get started. Wish I could like it again. Robin, you don't have to say stuff like that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The best conversation starters are open-ended, positive, and focus on shared experiences. Cool. Personal passions as well. I have a personal passion for Robin Webster. I'll tell you what, Robin and I, how long have we known each other now? We've known each other for about a year and a half, year and a half. Yeah. Robin Webster is a cool person. She's a great teacher. She's someone that when she talks, you can listen to her actually, right? That's rare. So who knows? Yeah, Robin's not just a powerful woman, she's a power broker. Hell yeah. Man, turn around, please. I'm almost done. Hey, thanks, Miguel. Hey, think of Uncle Tio and Aunt Tia, too. If you're going to be doing those things. No offense, bro. You don't have to talk like that in here, too. What's the problem for the economy? Is it really the rich, not the left or the right, since the politicians get rich? In the U.S. economy, politicians are part of the problem. You would just assume that a politician is directing your tax dollars somewhere because they write the budget. So who do they listen to? Do they listen to the rich to write the budget? Some of them do. Do they listen to the working class? Some of them do. But what about the commons problems? And this is what people like political scientists actually care about. Yeah, you have the tragedy of the commons if no one is going to take care of the common good, and politicians are unwilling to direct taxpayer dollars towards those solutions. And if they can't, there's other commons problems that exist in markets as well. So there's an energy company like British Petroleum or Saudi Aramco. Are they investing enough? Are they being open and out front enough in the market to put risk out front, to actually price their products, and services, toward what the actual market needs in terms of knowing the commons problems? If they don't, it doesn't work. Hey, JR, good to see you. Good to see you. Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I feel safest of all. I feel safest of all. Da 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 da. Robin's my mom. My mom is Robin, and in my car, I'll mod every alt she has. Da da da. Every single mod alt she has. Da 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 da. Is that name say Tom? Oh, I thought your name said Tony Hawk. If you love God, I believe Jesus died on the cross for my sins. Hey, thank you for the thank you for the blessings and stuff like that. Can you maybe you can explain one small part of that, right? Obviously, shout out if loving Jesus makes you feel good. I'm not here to argue with you about that, but you know there's people that don't feel that way, and also the other little factoid, which is true, is that it may not just be relevant right now, and that may not seem like a big deal, but that also means there's no context to ask people to say something if not everyone believes it, and it's certainly a small chance, inferentially, that they would believe it right now. Yeah, and so welcome to Ducks Y. And so I think that requires a little bit of an explanation. If I can, without much effort, come up with sort of a rational critique or criticism of asking people to praise Jesus randomly, I don't see why that's YouTube appropriate behavior. Obviously, welcome to the channel. I don't see the sort of ask itself. It's nothing to do with you, the person, but I don't see that as appropriate on YouTube. We might be talking to even Muslims here. We might be talking to people with no religion all around the world. You might be talking to Confucians or Taoists or, non-Christians like you. You might be talking to someone who's more of a scientist right now, or who's like just chilling and doesn't want to praise God this second. So I think it's a little bit of an offensive ask. The type of ask is a little offensive. Some people would maybe say it's very offensive. Hell yeah. If you don't believe in ducks, Mr. Postseason Eli, PSC, you ain't seen the magic yet. Yeah, nature is a magical place. Yeah. Don't listen to Robin. Nature has magic in it. There is a supernatural, magical nature, but I don't think it's written about in the Bible. It's not in the Quran, not in the Surah, not in the Torah. It's not in any of the sutras. It's not in any of the... I'll keep going. Yeah, nature is magic. You don't need a Bible for it. Doesn't need to be Gnostic. Doesn't need to be agnostic. It's just there. Congratulations. If you can't express the ideas you believe in, what's the point of talking? Bro, hold me accountable, dude. Maybe them. Maybe me. We're talking about recycling without removals. Basic prop comedy. Why, certainly. Yeah, catch me outside. How about that? How about that? Right? All right. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. My name's Ducky. My name's Ducky. I like getting lucky. I'm from Arizona, and that's my Stucky. I got lots of Stuckies. I got lots of buggies. Huggy, 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 diapers and doggies. Dougie, dougie, do. That's what we do. Put 'em up for Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was twice as nice. His dad was a carpenter. You know where it's going. We can only troll if you said this was boring. Catch me outside. How about that? Jesus used wood to make a hat. Jesus used wood to make a bat. The guy was always using wood for stuff. Some would say it was his first love. Jesus loved wood. Yes, he did. He was a woodsman. In the end, Jesus loved wood all the time. If it wasn't funny, it wouldn't rhyme. Woody, woody, woody. You should think of Jesus. Woody, woody, woody. And Jesus said that. Woody, woody, woody. You should think of Jesus. Woogie, woogie, woogie. Woody, woody, woody. Woody, woody, woody. Woody, 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 woody. Yeah, Arizona does get hot. How can you yeah. When I was running a lot, I would learn how to take rests in the shade. When I was younger, I could go out on the mountain for an hour. And so if it was 115 or 120, which it's like 30 something centigrade, I think, I could just go run for an hour with a water bottle in my hand. But being a little bit older, I look out for shade spots, try not to like pass out and stuff like that. I was raised Catholic. I'm currently atheist or Buddhist atheist, Gnostic or agnostic atheist. Ducks are cool. To me, ducks seem to do mating stuff long before procreating. If you actually go hike by where ducks migrate, you can see ducks spend a lot of time in a big gaggle of ducks, right? They're called gaggles. And then prior to this, there's maybe a little bit of light aggression and stuff, but males and females will usually break off from the gaggle and spend time together. And then it just so happens that in however many weeks or months you get baby ducks, right? But it doesn't happen right away, right? You don't have just like a gaggle where it sounds like you're saying, within the larger group of ducks, there's just a bunch of are going on. And I haven't witnessed that. Who knows? I'm not a biologist either, but just from, sort of simple observations, I don't think that's an accurate statement in the sort of anthropomorphizing human terms, stuff like that. But my transmission blew up in Tucson and I wanted to off my, hey, don't do that, Michael. I have to comment, no offense to you, but I have to at least get it off the channel or something like that. And yeah, obviously the first concern is hopefully you're okay as well, but YouTube doesn't let you talk about stuff like that, dude. So TOS stuff, ducks are the most, that's also not true again. So you're a nihilist. Not particularly. Like a great form of nihilism is Sartre, who says the beingness itself is empty, and so any meaning that's constructed isn't actually about the ontology. There's also Friedrich Nietzsche's nihilism that basically says when you learn society's lessons, you don't learn meaning. So you have to deconstruct. You basically have to reject, deconstruct, or externally combat this meaning that society gives you. And so I don't believe either of those things. I think it's fine. Like, do you like neon lights? Do you like cool neon signs from Temu or from Amazon? Yeah, I might not buy one, but they're really cool. Do you like OpenAI? I think OpenAI is all right. OpenAI made this background for me. And so, yeah, I'd support, whatever. Who knows? If I could afford it, I'd have a premium OpenAI model, premium OpenAI, or some other like no TOS, like, not to make obviously deep fake, whatever SEX stuff, but yeah, just to make, the sort of edgiest YouTube thumbnails and backgrounds I could. OpenAI, but I also don't disagree that OpenAI, doesn't have free speech. OpenAI will tell you can't make like, like Donald Trump, over the barrel dog. OpenAI won't make that image. So I'm not a nihilist by any stretch of the imagination. And these aren't just like my lived experience, right? I could have a meta-ethical discussion with you that atheism and nihilism are two different things. Will? Come on, bruh. It's a good question though, bro. Hey, shout out to Catholics in chat. Hey, oh my God, we're getting spammed. Hey, shout out to you. It's not spam, it's praying. Hey, I've done that. Hey, look, I've got a much more efficient way of doing this. Shout out to you, Google. I got a more efficient way of doing that. I went to Catholic school, so I know that. You should see me there. Here. And because it's my channel, there's your Mick belief sign, brother. There's your Mick belief sign. Yeah. Whoops. Oh, cool. Yeah. Hey, Sam, thank you for offending and being racist to people in chat. Yeah, I appreciate if you come into the chat room and help people have a good conversation. You can be honest, say something funny, try to be a little witty, listen for a little while. if you're on a smart device or something, kind of treat it like you're at a comedy club. You've got an iced tea in your hand, or you're at a bookstore and you're seeing a speaker at the bookstore. Who knows? Maybe they think of homeopathy. But yeah, for people, if you guys want to come in and chat, that's awesome. We've got a ton of chat here. Hey, Catholics, I'm about to time you out from the channel as well because you're copy pasting. You're copy pasting here. So you said human words. So I'm just going to give you one quick warning here. Some of the mods won't be that kind. But yeah, please engage the channel. Don't ruin the experience for me and for other people that are here, and don't give, right? You don't want, if you're Catholic, you don't want to give Catholicism a bad name or something because you're spamming chat, dude. We can talk about Catholicism. You want to talk about Vatican II. You want to talk about liberation theology. You want to talk about the Book of Mark is my favorite gospel, right? I'm not like some kind of atheist that bans those topics. I like some of that stuff, dude. I'm not that kind of atheist, there's tons of different people all over the world here. In every chat room, it can be that way. Hey, congratulations, Carrie, for finding your faith. Yeah, the porn D, right? Or whoops, the PDICK, right? It's the PDICK of Catholicism is the Hail Mary prayer. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Sick, dude. This is generations of Catholics loading it up. Sick to gnar the gnar, man. Did you guys know Bob Burnquist was one of the first guys to actually challenge Tony Hawk on the half pipe? So today on Taking It to the Gnar, we're going to go sit down with Bob and talk about what it was like skating for Birdhouse. And secondly, we're going to see what he thinks the future of skateboarding is like. Fourthly, we're going to ask him to review some of his most gnarly street tricks that the public has never seen. So this is Shredding the Gnar, and today we get to sit down with Bob Burnquist, dude. My name's Pope Leo, and today on Catholics, we're going to stand up to Donald Trump. Society's going to pay it forward just a little bit because we're going to reference not Catholic theological teaching, but just common sense that anyone should have. Welcome to Today on Catholic Vatican sort of ish today, Gnar the Gnar. I'm Pope Leo, and we get to sit down with Donald Trump and ask him how he gnars the gnar in Club Tropicana in Florida. All right. And if you thought that was bad, just wait until Melania gets a whiff of what Don's been up to. What's going to happen next, everybody? I'm obviously an atheist. I wouldn't be this funny or handsome or insightful or unaware if I wasn't an atheist, dude. Obviously. Low tier non-atheist chat question, dude. Not offense, but are you high? Yeah, I think everyone should have a fence line, dude. I posted a video called Past the Fence Line where it's like, not like past the fence line, like, past the duchy to the left-hand side. But I think it's more the case that, if you're tossing your politics over to some dude, like your buddy, whips up a mojito, that special time of year, people make these requests that go past their capability of reasoning through them or actually holding a political belief about it. Somebody that wants to vote for Palantir cannot actually make a rational choice about the next 30 years of defense spending. As it turns out, you guys may not believe it, but I could do that, dude. I could do that. I've imitated CIA officers on Quora and Reddit for the last 5 years. So I can do that. The other things are things like, well, Donald Trump wants to tariff and tax manufacturing in foreign countries. And so, like, cool, but if you are not an economic theorist, if you have not showed interest in Prague University as just a casual example, Greater Western Case University, University of Tehran, these guys all know about economics. Donald Trump doesn't. So you cannot have a political belief about something you don't understand. And so that's past the fence line. That's gnarring the gnar, dude. And so Donald Trump just rebrands. He says, well, we'll grow a bigger bush. Okay, Donald Trump, I'd say grow a bigger bush, dude. Don't tell Melania that, no pun intended, but you can grow a bigger bush, but your house is still ugly, dude. Don't tell me it's pathetic. Someone send me some money. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, dude, you're absolutely arse-slurred. Dylan, you can come up with a better word than that, dude. It's kind of a mean thing to say. Let me go up. Will's got a question. No, it ain't, dude. Thank you, Carriezilla. Let me go read frickin' Will's stuff here. Oh, come on, Eileen. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Will's channel activity. His question. Their question. Have you heard that it is mathematically impossible for life to develop by chance and random occurrence? Yeah, Jim Bob was sort of talking about that tonight. This guy, Jim Bob, does evolution debates. And it's actually not true, right? There's plenty of computational models of evolution that show when evolution may work and may provide a layer of explanation based on what you would say isn't computational evidence, and so perhaps a stronger form of evidence is physical evidence. At least that's how a lot of people see it today, right? If you can actually see like dead gene sequences or dead morphology, this is a pretty strong form of evidence that evolution has occurred because you can see the genetic similarity, right? And so it's like very black and white, right? Very black and white. But yeah, just generally, I would need to read more about the topic because I'm not a biologist. I'm also not a computational scientist. But there's a lot of exciting stuff coming. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming. And so I do think there's mathematical evidence of evolution. And I do think it reaches the level of inference. I do believe that it produces Bayesian inference, which is the strongest form of evidence that you can have. So who knows? One day you may have a mathematical theory that actually totally encapsulates and consumes the physical evidence. And you might say that, well, an evolution course is capstoned by taking a Python class or learning deep learning models. And so you can understand the type of inference that an evolution model looks like in complexity, right? That's pretty far out, but who knows? 200 years from now, that might be true. We don't know. And just for a banana for scale, I was showed this, I get all kinds of weird articles on my fake CIA core accounts, my fake CIA Reddit accounts. And it's not because of what I look like. It's not because I've been a liar, but it's just because my algorithm is hyper tuned to stuff that I'm interested in. And, stuff that guys like us, and when I say guys like us, I mean, you know what I mean by that. I'm the kind of guy that doesn't go around the corner, around the counter at Dick's Sporting Goods. That's just who I am as a person. But yeah, quantum computers. There's quantum computers that can solve equations in 40 seconds, literally 40 seconds, that take supercomputers 10,000 years to solve. And so let me emphasize that one more time. So 40 seconds. So, 1/1000th of 1 hour or so out of 1 year. And it takes a supercomputer 10,000 years to solve some of these equations. And it's funny because companies like IBM own both the supercomputers that can do things like this, as well as the quantum computers that can do things like this. So when people say that, well, we can't talk about science in computational terms, it's wrong, because there is just the computational power should at least provide it should provide at least curiosity as to how the science might work around arguments and complexity, I think. Who knows? Maybe that's impossible and I'm a lunatic, I'm a loon, but I don't think I am. Computational evidence don't mean anything because technology is limited to the physical capacity of the computer to compute. And there's also bias because the data that is fed. Quantum computers are not functional as of yet. Yeah, so your argument to me says that, well, there's variables that can only be defined by natural objects. And one example is a phenotype can be a variable, but that can also be broken down to a pairing of chromosomes. And that can also be broken down to the specific combination of, whatever it is, the molecules that make up DNA or something like that. So those are all cases that represent physical evidence being stronger than computational evidence. And the counterpoint to that is that if those things can be modeled and represented in data, then we should at least see that there's an abductive case to be made, right? It requires an explanation that that digital variables can represent a real world phenomenon. Because if digital variables are taking the place of natural objects and variables, then why wouldn't it just be the case that you can compute things without measuring it in nature? Quantum computers, I believe, last I checked, and this was a long time ago, but they're trying to get 100 quantum bits suspended, in a state that it could actually run a quantum program, could run an equation or something on it. I guess it's an equation. What do those guys say? That's a crazy question, right? That's an engineering question or something. You actually have a computer at the diner at the end of the universe, wherever it is, the end of our universe. Sean Carroll would say, well, congratulations, you found digital forms of coherence to do the thing. So that's what you got. You got you ultimately actually got one micro state or a macro. You're looking at a macro state and calling it that, but you got some micro state system set up that you don't know what it is, that just got the thing that you wanted it to get. Okay, dweeb, run away from your real question, your real curiosity. Blah, 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 yap, 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 yap. Blap, 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 blap. Alpha, Omega, getting deep. Hell yeah, brother. Oh yeah. Living spaces. Oh yeah. Give me some waffles. Waffle day. Waffle day. Somebody wanted waffle day. Yeah, the scientists want waffle day, everybody. The merge, the science of it all. The wampus is so tall. The wampus is so tall. Wampus is so tall. The wampus after all. The wampus is so tall. Are we doing feminism? Are we doing feminism right now? Wampus is so tall. The wampus after all. I used to read some books. Then I like to cook. Wampus tall. Wampus tall. The wampus is so tall. I want a computer equation for a wampus after all. All right, thank you, children. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Have I done the thing? I deeply apologize, of course. Seabass 007. Seabass, the comment says, I'm back. Phone died. Anyways, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on nuclear energy? I think I remember a similar user tag on my fake CIA core account. Yeah. When we create the externality of, when we create the externality of spent uranium, and you can only turn it into so many anti-tank rounds, and it kind of sucks or whatever it is, then we are basically saying that our desire and need for energy for hot societies is higher than our respect for computational or competitive equal sum, games, basically, right? So it's not like there's something that undermines the political choice towards one of comfort. And so I'm all for better forms of energy and things like this. I believe individuals can come up with both the solution as well as the practice, right? The solution and practice by which nation states can appreciate not the proper use of energy, but just when is it actually a political choice? When is it a social choice, right? When is it angelic? When is it perfect? When is the right time? When is it efficient? When are you able to consider it with the other infrastructure and technology choices that a society can make? When is it expedient and advantageous in order to facilitate the conversation and outcome? So relative to nuclear energy, I'd have to learn a lot more. But I think if we are talking about both capturing the excitement and change potential. We should be very conservative, but we should also be honest. We should also be honest. And we should have conversations not about like cybernetics, not about tech oligarchies, but just about ethics involving the natural world, equations. Something like the energy density of refined uranium is relevant for humans, but it's relevant for non-human species as well. Look at the Tsar Bomba, right? Look at U.S. nuclear testing. Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump just months ago threatened nuclear testing in the U.S. That was inappropriate. That was not appropriate. No infinite existence of matter, the infinite existence of time, rather. What is that pertaining to? In complexity? In complexity? Yeah, my conspiracy theory. Yeah, your conspiracy theory too. No, I was just kidding, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like a drop of water, right? If there is like a system that when we think of either a any cosmology unit of something that is described cosmologically, but you see this and you have something like a monad, like a drop of water that has qualities, but it's not hylomorphic necessarily. And so can this thing produce the universe or something? Can you produce the universe in like experimental terms, but then it also maintains some of those like theory of everything quantities or something? I don't know, right? It's obviously not bound by stupid anything, but yeah, can you have is there a complex, I don't know, that's like a question. Is there a complex description of something that has invariance in terms of when you see other systems working, that might not be like right, but it sounds smart, doesn't it? It does sound pretty smart, actually. It sounds actually really quite smart. Keep the argument running for a little while. Just let it sit. It's not that big of a deal. We live and then we live some more. Hey, thanks to Narcas. Thanks, appreciate it. Tunar CSS, cool. Shout out. I was saying earlier the Big Bang existed, which disproved the atheist view of infinite time. Yeah, maybe, when we think of causality happening in a universe which may not be like ours, when, to satisfy what someone needs by like a category or ontology of cause, then I don't think we have a view of like infinite time isn't both directions, first of all. Second of all, the Big Bang, if the Big Bang rests on a causation, like these are just problems that I'm personally finding with that sort of approach. I don't understand the system that it would, and yeah, I don't mean to be disingenuous either. I don't totally understand all of it. If you ever come to New Haven, Connecticut, you'll become a campfire story. Heck yeah, thanks, Nightmare. Maybe that's a good thing. I can go meet my old buddies. Got real sad about the victims of people from Gacy, Ed Gein, and Jeff Dahmer, right? Change of pace is what that made me think of a little bit, quite a bit. Yeah, felt real bad for the victims. Also had definitely some compassion or sympathy for the guys themselves. They caused a lot of pain, and they probably also lived with quite a bit of pain in their lives and stuff like this too. So the joy and the anger or something. I don't know. I don't technically know. Ever heard of the sheets theory? I've not. Robert Fruge. Sorry. We even have a beginning ourselves. Cool. Conceived? Cool. I mean, bang, we are conceded into existence. Cool. Heck yeah, brother. Cool. Cool, dude. Cool. It unwraps like a beautiful flower, but it didn't really, dude. It unwraps like a beautiful flower. I don't know what to say. Maybe we should have nuclear power. Maybe we will one day. But if time is just an infinite loop and gravity lives down there, maybe we can find a better way. With daisies in the sun. with daisies in the sun. Do-do-do-do. I'm a cowboy, 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 cowboy. Rawr. Cowboy, cowboy, rawr. Rawr. All right. That was really weird. I thought it said Ducks. Nah, Ducks Y. Yeah, Ducks Y. Bammo. Welcome to Ducks Y. There's the DJ booth. There's the DJ booth, brother. There's the bottom shelf. There's the top shelf. Top shelf. I was talking about you guys, chat. Likes are free on the channel. We got top shelf commenters, top shelf subscribers, top shelf politics, top shelf science. Welcome to the show, everybody. I hope everybody's having fun and a great time and a good time, and even the best time ever possible. You guys want to undermine the stars? Just wait for science and God to produce something because you said you wouldn't believe it otherwise. All right. Can I be happy? Thank you. That's pretty cool. Hey, that's pretty cool. Solve that one. Solve that one, Jeebus. That's pretty cool. Heck yeah, brother. Where's Neo-Hobbesian? Where's my Neo-Hobbesian friends in chat? What did I miss? I'm not qualified to speak on this. Oh boy, that causes me a lot of pain and stress. I should have thought more about breakfast. Train the cats. Train the cats. Which light comes up next? If you're willing to send me a green super chat, I'm going to buy another one of these. If you're willing to send me a red super chat, I'll buy another one of these. Welcome to Ducks Y, where the money matters, folks. Just kidding. That was a joke. Let me talk, guys. Space Science Explorer. Welcome to Space World, where the galaxy stars look like clouds and lasers. Space World, welcome to Space World, welcome to Space World, where Sam Altman, I want to go to Space World to do COINTELPRO. Go to Space World, let's go to COINTELPRO. Hell yeah, brother. Atheism, where's your make-believe? Zora Mamdani took photos on Epstein Island of Trump, and he's still lying about it. Where's Monk Life? Where's Monk Life at? That dude was a huge inspo to me, and he's not going to stop me from saying it. I ain't going to grift on 1 ounce of his Buddhist stuff. Wow. Hell yeah, brother. Jesus of Frazareth, more like it, right? Jesus of Frazareth. Rabbi Williams. Hey, shout out. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means either. If that was a test, I passed or failed. Holy crap, I thought that said block. Shout out to y'all. Likes are free. Welcome to the show, folks. I'm just kidding. Enjoy. Please stay a while if you guys like the content, have topic suggestions for a rando like me. Welcome to Rando U, and shout out to you. Oh, cool. Yeah. Speak freely. We're an 18 plus channel too. We are 18 plus, so shout out to you. You have something oaken, Rabbi. No worry, that's what it is. Shout out to you. Enjoy yourself while you're here, sir. Please. Oh my gosh, thank you. We got some monetary support. I ain't gonna even sit on this and wait for a second. For him or against him says, have a good one, bro. Like the open conversations. Hey, shout out to you. I saw you up there in chat. Hoping maybe we can have more conversations. I appreciate the support. Enjoy your day. Thanks for enjoying the chat. And thank you so much for the thanks and stuff like that. And thanks for the kind wishes and the kind words, right? That's what it, whatever. Cool. That shout out. Thank you. Means a lot. Appreciate you, brother. Cool. Shout out to you. Yeah, I am not Jewish. I am, yeah. I was raised Catholic. Yeah. And so there's a lot in common, I think, between Roman Catholicism and Judaism, some of it regarding values, some of it not, and stuff like that. But just in terms of not like Western values, but like civ values, like where does the civilization start and end or something a little bit? So yeah, but that's my Regan or Regin, I think. That's my bad juju is, yeah, there it is. There you go, brother. Oh, word. Yiddish troll words then or something. Yiddish troll words. I got it from the Torah, the card channels. I'm also Jewish. Cool. Hell yeah, brother. There you guys go. Shout out. The guy literally blah, 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 blah. What up, Nate D-O-double-G? Shout out to you. Can you teach me how to crip walk? Teach me how to crip walk. Blah, blah, blah. Can you teach me how to crip walk? Do you have a totem for your negative energy? Shout out. I take everything super seriously. Welcome to Ducks Y. I had tresemme in my hair, folks. I was looking good. Now this is what I look like. We came as Romans. Wait, is he correct? Of course. Of course. Are we doing that? That's too exhausting for me still. I don't know. Yeah, if he comes live, he comes talking about my shrug use or something like this. Yeah. Hey, that's some bad juju right there for sure. Like sheets hanging on clothesline every time the sheets touch equals another big bangs occur. Oh, crazy, crazy. Makes multi-dimensional existence. Yeah. That's cool. Well, in modern cosmology, the description of these spatial manifolds, which actually contain 4D reality, right? So these are holographic, right? They're holographic, meaning two-dimensional, means that we observe multi-dimensional objects, which actually make up the sheets, but the multi-dimensional objects can all be holographs from 2 dimensions, right? From what's known as sort of like a scalar or like a Hilbert space. So we see them in like these like vectors or something, I think, but then they curl up into these other spaces. And some people say, well, these can also represent sort of like these infinite states or something, but they don't. So that's as much as I know about that. I don't think all of it's right, but yeah, that's a crazy theory to think that it's not just the switch from Newton to quantum mechanics. It's not just the switch from quantum mechanics to informational sort of style of physics, but it's also the switch from in like field theories, but it's also the switch to these bigger theories of that even what a reality is or what can be said to be metaphysics is different in these theories. I don't think so. I don't think I am, but I also don't think that there should be shame such as the term drug addict, right? I think you're using this sort of, Western European sort of style languages. You're using a statist style of speak. Originally, language, I believe, appealed to both the social fabric and to metaphysics. This is my sort of opinion. Yeah, and so when we look at, a great example to make this very clear is the Egyptians used Greek as an administrative language. And then they spoke Egyptian, right? Their scrolls are in Egyptian, but when it came to law, they used a lot of Greek languages. And so Greek was sort of, in some sense, paid respect, but it's also this disrespectful sense that, well, your language won't capture the actual cultural drivers, and so the administrative Greek language never actually gets down to the level of national identity or homogeneity in the sense that it's metaphysical and close to the ground, close to the base. Yeah. So it's also interesting, some people think it's important that others mean different things by infinity. Others say, well, if you're not doing mathematics or experiments, it doesn't matter what you mean by infinity, actually. Welcome to the show, folks. Sit down, relax. No, it ain't, buddy. So what, guy? Okay, guy. Nothing is all of anything, buddy guy. Cool, that can be true, so can other things. Welcome to Buddhism, folks. Hey, cool, that's awesome. Metaphysical philosophy. Cool, dude. You can teach me something someday. Maybe you can teach me something someday about what I should be teaching or talking about or shutting up about. I never know when to shut up. I never know when to shut up. What kind of creature are you? I'm a tired one. No, I'm not tired. I'm having a good night. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Welcome to Ducks Y. We're a small YouTube channel. We like talking politics, science typically, casual chats. And so right now I am a duck creature, I guess. I don't know. My name's Duck. My name's Nathan or Duck. Yeah, shout out to you. Adios. Yeah, enjoy your evening. Thanks for stopping by. You seem anti-Semitic. I don't know how that would be true. Do you have any evidence or proof of that, Mr. Rabbi Williams? Do you have any evidence or proof of that accusation? I consider myself anti-racist, actually, pretty deeply. Hey, Jack. Thanks for stopping by. I'll miss you. Yeah. Cheers. We'll see you. Oh, okay, cool. I'm just going to go ahead and delete your messages. I didn't see the troll, so that's my fault. But also, if I did something because of that to not see the safe space, right? A little bit of an anti-racist space. Ha ha ha, very funny. It is late night and all this stuff. It is late night for me, so that is very funny, but I'm still going to give you 60 seconds because I got the power, baby. So there you go. Yeah, Andrew, if you want to like and subscribe, if you like the content, I usually try to post higher quality. If you guys go watch my last short, want to like it, I try to post higher quality shorts between 30 seconds and 3 minutes. So really easy to digest kind of what's going on in the world of politics, what MAGA is up to and how a political scientist, political theorist, how a voter might see it and understand it. I think I'm pretty well qualified to have those discussions. I try to put some thought into those contents. So if you like the content, like and subscribe. You can always like the video. I'm not rushing to get more people in. I don't want people to just boost the channel or something like that too. Do I speak Arabic? Right now I'm working on Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Praise be to God. I like that one. I showed that to my daughter today, actually. Alhamdulillah, I said, Alhamdulillah, Daddy knows what the Shahada is. And so if you get older and want to talk about the Shahada, I'm not Muslim, but you can talk to Daddy about that. We're going to respect people. I think that's responsible parenting to have some knowledge of world religions. I'm lucky. I have the internet. I got to take world religions classes. I have friends that are very knowledgeable in the topic. Yeah, I did both because your voice is kind of nice. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. You got to put some oomph into that if you're going to say it, right? It seems like you found it from nowhere, Seems like that one came up from nowhere, bro. I'm just saying the fake rabbi, it seems like a fake rabbi name tag that we still hear. Likes saying fake racial slurs, likes accusing people of anti-Semitism. Sorry for the stream pause, stream freak out. It's a psychobilly freak out. Oh, cool. Oh, do we have auto translate on? I just scrolled over your Adam Anthony. I just scrolled over it and it is reading your message in Arabic, which is super cool. Very awesome feature that Google has. Because I got you on PC here, and it's not doing that with everyone. So thank you. Yeah, your accent makes it difficult, but your Arabic is good. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know any more than that. So, yeah, I like going to Dawa channels. Yeah, it's your texts are showing in English, which is cool. And I'm sorry for talking like this, but I like going to Dawa channels. And yeah, and I can hopefully understand you. Understand you better, right? Is it inbuilt auto? Yeah, if you're typing on an Arabic keyboard, you're typing on a Muslim keyboard. Yeah, I don't know if you speak English and can understand me. If you are typing on a Arabic or a Muslim keyboard, then you would be auto translated by Google, I think. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, I didn't mean that, right? I didn't mean that. Somebody's laughing. There's no such thing as a Muslim keyboard, they're telling me. Hey, chat, do you guys know that? Apparently, there's no such thing as a Muslim keyboard. You know? Yeah. I know what keys it wouldn't. Yeah. So, what would you say? Yeah. Yeah. Just print for, I think I know it. Print for Sharia, right? Control P, and then you are doing, now it is Sharia, right? But if you don't do Control P, it's the normal keyboard, like everyone else has one. Control P, it's Sharia, or something like this, right? Okay, cool. I gotcha. Chill, bro. Daddy, chill. Daddy, chill, please. Daddy, chill, dude. Daddy, chill. You guys gotta, yeah, if anybody is Muslim in chat, one day you're gonna have to teach me how to manage my own stress a little better. Sorry, it's late night. I get stressed out. I do stress eating when I eat out, right? There's other ways that I could manage it, So I just want to make sure that that is clear and, stuff like that too. Will you guys evolve to make dirt? I don't know about that. I actually don't know about that. The Earth didn't evolve to make dirt. So dirt comes from supernovae. Listen to the Quran recitation. It's beautiful and relaxing and relieves stress. Cool, yeah. I should Quran or Surah, right? Quran or Surah, I am a non-Muslim, right? I'm a non-Muslim. I am in an infidel country, admittedly. Admittedly, I am an infidel country. And so I don't know if you think I should read the Quran or the Surah first. Which one? All right. I think your humor is complex and might not make sense to others. That's probably true. I don't know why. Yeah, Geneviève's French. Geneviève's French. She's I believe, French Canadian. It's none of my business, but I think she's actually, yeah. I was just talking about this with her yesterday, actually. Yeah. Wow, that happened weird. Yeah, yes, cool. Hell yeah, brother. Welcome to the show. My name's Nathan. I go by Duck Online. Good to see you guys. All right. Daddy, please. Daddy, please, come help. Daddy, please. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. I'm a Gershton man. I'm a Gershton Christian man. I'm a Gershton man. Hell yeah, brother. Can we get this out? Let's go, baby. Let's go have some fun. All right. Nobody want to talk? All right. All right, brother. Let's have a good day. Let's go ahead and get through it. That's funny to me. That's all funny to me. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I recommend reading the surah if you want, not forcing. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, shout out to you. Bam. Shout out to you. Cool. Quran is demonic. Endzone says Quran is demonic. I don't know enough. Breathing, meditation, help remove. All right. What a piss take. Yeah, in political science, a Mick World is like the liberalism world that's produced by consumerism, not just consumerism, but it's produced by like consumerism and like, if you guys are seeing this, we're getting comments on the actual stream overlay. It's produced by Mick World comes from like imperial style government, big criticism, but also just like liberal consumer democratic governments that seem to homogenize, not around political beliefs, but they do, and so the Mick World just is what ultimately results. And so a Mick belief is a belief in the Mick World. Yeah, and I think it is something that just does exist. If you believe what you see on television right away without questioning it, or you have no way of doing your own analysis, you have no way of understanding someone else's analysis. Why not trust Nike? Why not trust McDonald's? Why not trust Chrysler Dodge? Welcome to the Mick World a little bit. And then you see things at the UN. The UN's a pretty huge topic, because it's a debate whether the United Nations actually decides policy, they shape policy, or if they're really just there. They are like a speed bump maybe, or they're this force that creates the sort of surrounding areas but doesn't actually contain anarchic competition, things flying everywhere and stuff. So yeah, so this is a little closer to what actual political science is like, maybe how like a Secretary of State normally thinks. These types of topics are the things that really should be actually what you're talking about, not in no condescending way, right? These are the things that you might be talking about or thinking about. And so with the Mick World, when you think about something like the UN, to me, it's a huge question. Well, is it actually true that people in the West or in the liberal world, people living in capitalist economies care more about the products, the beliefs in products, than they care about other people? If that is true, well, then the UN isn't dealing with the nation state. The UN, in any case, is dealing with the Mick World. And so this is going to become increasingly true in places like China, who now only have 25% of their economy controlled by the state. 75% of China's very rich economy is free market. China also has really high interest rates, so that's different than the West. So does Russia. Their lending rates aren't competitive. Very difficult environment. They still have to consume a lot of fossil fuels like the United States. So these are all topics which maybe show, well, the Mick World is fun, but it's also not like an all-encompassing description. It is very important still. So I don't know if that's why I have the McDonald's sign up, is some of the reasons, to learn about this stuff and talk about it with you guys too. If you guys have opinions for me, I'm like a puppy dog. I'm puppy doggy 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 puppy doggy 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 puppy doggy time. Doggy puppy book puppy doggy doggy. I can go read book doggy 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 doggy. Anthony Adams Anthony. Swipe bowl, Jesus, doggy 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 doggy, Mick World, doggy puppy doggy 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 dog pup waggy puppy duck. Ducky puppy doggy dog. All right. I hope one day you understand the truth. Cool. I'd hope for that as well. One day I want the big truth, not the small truth. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, God bless you if you like Jesus Christ. Yeah. Swipe right, swipe left, right? Snapchat, ghost stories, and all this stuff. There you guys go. Here you guys go. And I chimed in, haven't you people ever heard of closing the gosh darn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I chimed in, haven't you people ever heard of closing the gosh darn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of, well, in fact, I'll just look at it this way. I mean, technically, our marriage is saved. So pour the champagne, pour the champagne, pour the champagne. Oh, well, in fact, I mean, look at it this way. I mean, technically, our marriage is saved. So pour the champagne, pour the champagne, pour the champagne. You guys know how to type in emojis on the internet. Do you guys know how to use emojis? Not really recommended necessarily. I like animals. I don't talk about my family on the internet. I consider pets family, so there you guys go. There's the answer. Do you guys know how to use symbols on the internet? So this is referencing a sort of dating or apologetics motion for Jesus as well, and it is perhaps elucidating or giving maybe some connotation of what the Ducks Y channel is about. That's my AI summary of what I just said. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Yes. There's no excuse because you're no college. What is the symbol of communism in that emoji meme? Yeah, it's on a communist potato. It's on a communist potato. So this guy here, this Zohran Mamdani mofo, you see him? The sick feller taking a photograph of Donald Trump and Jeff Epstein. He's building a communist grocery store. He wants you to go get your guava juice, chickpea, hummus. He wants all of it. He wants all the stuff, right? Sweet, sweet nectar tea. He wants all of it. He wants all of it to be communist. This mofo doesn't want you to be happy, dude. He can't. They can't compete. What up, Sophia? What up, Sorjak? We're turning up, dog. You missed the bulk of it, dude. You missed the bulk of it, dude. Let mama help, brother. Let mama help, brother. Hell yeah. Is that sick? Yeah, it is sick. Do you know the difference between Barack Obama? Okay, guy, no, it ain't. That's what Barack Obama said. You guys don't believe that? Religion is evolution in reverse. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's one of these undermining factors, right? Oh, such a beautiful, sick pattern, right? Such a beautiful, sick pattern. Such a beautiful, sick pattern. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's hear it. Yeah. And so, when we think of primitive religion and animalism and stuff like this, okay, so here we are. Okay. Nice to meet you. My name is Duck. You can see I used to have giant biceps. Okay. Yeah. And so primitive religion, primitive language did reference religion and things like this, did reference supernatural beliefs, but it was very basic, right? It was the same way that you smell something or see something or touch something, something touches you, and perhaps had some irrational functionality that led to nonlinear evolutionary outcomes, meaning it's not empirical, it's not scientific, but somehow seems to work out in a system that's too complex to understand, or it's even just a system of systems thing, right? So you just don't have a rational system operating as a biological creature, and yet it somehow works for enough of us. It works for purposes that aren't about our sense of self and our psychology. And so religion seems to revert us back to this very small, upright, and longitudinal, how you get it done, brother. What it do, how you get it done, brother, right? Back to the wagon wheel. Well, I'm headed down south to the land of the pine. I'm thumbing my way down to North Carolina. I'm hoping for Raleigh, I can see my baby tonight. Oh, these North Country winters keep getting me down. Lost my money playing poker, so I had to leave town. But I ain't going back to the life I led no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. All right. So rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. That's all I know. Do you believe the difference in communism and socialism? I don't know. What do you think, Robert? What do you think I believe, Robert? If we got real honest like men for a second, dude. We got real honest about it. I'm a heel striker. I'm a heel striker when it comes to religion. These are my Goodwill shoes. I got these from the thrift store, dog. It's crazy Nars. But I believe the biggest difference. Oh man, someone unliked me, dude. I'm sorry. Someone unliked the stream, guys. Likes are free. Let's go back up to 47 likes, bro. I'm headed down south to the land of the pine. I'm on my way down to North Carolina. The difference between communism and socialism. Well, one could be seen as ideologically enriched via revolution. You could also just look at the system of governments outside of revolutionary spirits and attitudes, right? And say it's a bureaucratic administrative system, which just has which has technocratic components, not responsive, which can be responsive to any force in nature, right? Any force in nature, any and all things, dude. Just like Shinto, I believe Shinto or something similar. Yeah, yeah. Shout out, something like that. And so, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah. And yeah, and so I believe a positive description of any system of government is best. Positive, empirical, methodological, categorical, and variable, right? And modal. These are words that can grow from the simple, middle complexity up to very complex. Now, I haven't found a reason why they become theological, right? Why? Because ultimately those things simplify. When we say, well, God doesn't love communism, or God doesn't love socialism, God does love communism, Jesus was a socialist. I could just say, well, some asshole felt that way about it. But I have no reason to say that. I do support allyship, Father Lost. I do support allyship. Yeah, so some asshole feeling some way about something doesn't change what the thing actually is. And if you can afford for it to change the thing that it actually is, then you can, right? But it depends whether you're talking about the thing itself, the big thing, or the details, right? Because some asshole can have an opinion about how long it takes for the car dealership to give you the warnings and check you out about the legal terms. Some asshole can also have an opinion about the type of car you drive. Just safe space for people that are LGBTQIA. If you have a public facing identity, or it's in your PFP, or it's in your username, or you go to those spaces, you should be able to. I would hope that you can be on DuxY without any problems or issues. You might get some of the top penny points, but so should other people, I guess. Like if there's some level of, I guess I would hope there's not much, but if there's some level of pressure or discomfort here, I would hope that there's nothing that is physically or psychologically threatening to anyone. I would hope people see that, if I miss, this would be my very conservative or admitting sort of side, is if somebody says something like that's GHEY and they say it condescendingly and they don't get a timeout, but they've been contributing for like 10, 15 minutes, that is technically hate speech still, but whatever. And so, so that's how I feel about that. Okay. Cool. Let's talk about the other stuff then. Or not. Some other time. That's a good message. As someone who's talking about God, that's a very mature answer. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's appreciated. Cool. That's very neat. Yeah, that's very cool. Very neat. I'm headed down south to the land of the pine, thumbing my way down to North Carolina. I'm hoping for Raleigh, I can see my babies tonight. All these North Country winters keep getting me down. Lost my money playing poker, so I had to leave town. but I ain't going back to that life I led no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Oh my gosh, wow, that was crazy. That was gnar, dude. That was insane, brother. These guys are always crazy gnar, dude. Holy wow, dude. That's insane, brother. Wow, dude. Why am I reading chat? Why am I talking about stuff right now? I have no clue, brother. No clue at all. These guys sure upset about it, though. All right, the longer I stream, the more my likes are going down. We've been live for 2 hours and 14 minutes. I've made 2 memberships and I've made 199, guys. I'm okay with it, though. Oh, I don't have a super chat goal up. That means I ain't asking. What's up, Courage, the Cowardly D-Dog? Daddy, shout out to you. Good to see you again. It's 1:10 my time, guys. I hope you guys are having a good night. I might turn everybody loose to other YouTubes. I don't know if you guys want me to set up a quick raid or something like that. If there's other topics, obviously you guys can self-manage your way out, but I can see if any channels that I know of are up, send you guys over to another chat room or topic or something. Let's see. All right. Whoops. Not that one. Yeah, guys, I got a cool one. Thanks for hanging out. Anybody who's a subscriber, I'd like you to know about this channel. I'm going to set up the redirect and stuff. It's going to take just a minute. But yeah. Cool people. If you guys are night owls, you guys are up at about this time. Thanks. Appreciate likes, subscribes. I'm not a reptilian yet. I call myself Duck Online. So maybe I do have some avian qualities, but I'm pretty much more human. I like academic stuff, spirituality, scholarly stuff, and yeah. And yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and send us over. Go ahead, click the button if you guys see it. And yeah, I'll see you guys over there for a little bit and have a good night. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate all the questions. Good to see everybody again. That's not GTGT. I don't know if it's the GTGT I see around, but yeah, good to see you. Thanks, guys. We'll take care.